I am Supa.
Okay, so we are here at the I Am Supa podcast. And I know what time it is, and you do too. I am
Supa.
I am
Supa.
I am
Supa.
Everything I do in my life will cause me to be
Successful.
every time when I put my mind to anything, I'm going to make sure it lead me to a path that will make me
Successful.
I don't care what happened in my past, my present, and my future will be
Successful.
because I am
Supa.
I am
Supa.
I am
Supa.
Everybody always mess up.
It's successful, my word.
Right, I love it. Okay. Oh, like I've been messing up. So, I'm here with two amazing people. I'm going to go ahead and let them give themselves a brief introduction. Go ahead and start us off.
I am Linzie Enns, author, speaker, functional nutrition coach, and a mom.
Oh, well, I think that's the hardest one that she said. Actually, everything else is amazing, but being a mom is a lot.
It's also amazing.
Yes, it is, 100%.
Nice.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Leonardo Victor II. I'm a private chef, herbalist, speaker as well, and got to piggyback with Veggie back off her. I'm a father.
Oh, see, I love parents because they understand my struggle with my kids. And it's a lot, but also it's a beautiful thing because we get to be able to impart information to them so that we can come on podcasts and be able to speak more fluently because we got to tell these kids over and over and over the same thing. So, hey, look at us. So I'm excited for today's episode because today's episode, I'm not going to have as much power as I normally do because my thing isn't in nutrition, but it is within mentality, how to utilize things in order for us to have a stronger mentality, how to push forward with knowledge so that we can become stronger individuals. Today's episode is about how our nutrition can affect our mindset. What you put into your body can have a cause and effect upon how you feel, how your body react, the sicknesses you get, so on and so forth. There's so many consequences to the things that you eat. And depending on how you monitor it, can really be the difference maker of you waking up feeling amazing or you waking up and feeling drained. Think about it. Think about those little sneaker commercials. They be all angry, they be pissed, they be so stressed, and then once they eat that Snicker, they're back to happiness. That's literally how our body is because our body requires fuel for us to be able to operate better neurologically so that our brain is 2% of our body, or 2% of, I forgot what it was, but it's 2% of our body, but it uses up 20% of energy that our body needs. And if we're not doing the necessary things to put things into our body, then that's going to have a significant effect on how our body operates. And honestly, I would say out of the 5 senses, taste could get you in the most trouble sometimes. So that's why I brought two of the most amazing people here when it comes to this subject. I've seen them speak so much on social media, on podcasts, in person, and so on and so forth. I want them to go ahead and give us a little bit of information on how does food affect our mindset?
Absolutely. So food is everything. And there's so much more about it other than just like what it does to our body too, because it brings in friendship and fellowship and family. Like we use it for those kinds of things as well. So it can be a healing thing, or it can be the opposite and it cause inflammation and sickness. And so I like to think of it this way. What we put into our body is either healing disease and preventing disease, or it's feeding disease. So when we think of food in that aspect, it makes us go, okay, wait a minute. What am I putting into my body? and what is that doing? And sometimes we don't know what it's doing because what affects me may not affect you. But what's really, really important is knowing and understanding is like whatever symptoms we are having when we eat certain foods, that's our body giving us signals and saying like either this feels really, really good or it's causing inflammation, it's causing dysregulations in the body. And we need to be able to pay attention to that and go, oh, my body's just giving me feedback. It's just telling me like, I don't like this. Give me something else that actually makes me feel good.
I love that 100%. I love what she also said earlier when she said how one person can eat something and it can affect them, but it may not have the same effect on somebody else. That's why we really have to be mindful of how things that we put inside of our body affect us and the science that it gives us, because you could take somebody's diet and their diet 100% works for you, but it could be dangerous for them. Imagine you put somebody on a pescatarian diet and they're completely allergic to everything seafood. Now you are giving them a death sentence because you believe with all your heart that pescatarian is everything, but it could be trouble for someone else. So you have to really monitor what type of foods you put into your body and how it affects you, and do your own research on it as well. So, Leo, what do you say about it?
Oh, for sure. Our number one expense actually should be like in our body. The most important real estate that we will ever own is the vehicle that we're in. And too often we don't think of it like this. We just feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And if you talk to an older person, the number one thing that they would say if they're suffering from something would be like, I wish I would have cared for my health more. Mm-hmm. And just think about the vehicle, because most of us drive, and if you don't, it's Uber and it's Lyft out here. So just imagine you just had one vehicle your whole life. How would you react?
Let's see. I would react in a way to where I'm taking better care of it if I just knew I had one vehicle.
For sure. But too often it's like, okay, cool, I can replace the vehicle, but you cannot replace your body. So how it affects our mentality is everything. So we are what we ate, but even deeper, we are what's in what we are consuming. So it's like you either going to like put yourself in a graveyard or you're going to keep yourself out of one.
I love that 100%. And I have a lot of people that passed away recently. And the more I get older, the more I be on my friends and just people I know in general. Like, I want y'all to stay alive as long as possible and reach your goals. But in order for you to reach your goals, you have to be doing the necessary steps to take care of yourself. You cannot have success within this world if you don't have success within yourself, because you could have everything, $1 million, and have a heart attack the next day because of the fact that during the process of getting your millions, you didn't do the necessary steps to take care of your body for you to enjoy the millions. So I always ask people this question. I just made a post about it today. What is the things that, if you look into your life of what you don't want in your life, is the actions that you are taking matching up with the things that you do want? Are you really taking the time out to say, yeah, I want to live long? Are you eating properly? If you're saying that I want to get in shape, are you taking the nutrition properly? And this goes beyond just, it goes beyond just being strict. I don't think that you have to be strict with your diet. I think that you have to figure out what diet works for you. And a lot of people try to go hard at the beginning, like they get rid of everything. They sacrifice it all. I'm going to go hard. And then what happens is that you make yourself suffer because you don't know what you're going to be substituting that stuff with. And also then you start craving things because you eliminated too much things at once. So I'm going to go ahead and let the nutritional experts talk more about that as well. What is things that they can do for them to be able to go into a healthier diet better?
Absolutely. This is my cup of tea. This is what I teach people. So thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Like you said, it's not about going on a specific diet and getting rid of everything and having this like strict regimen of like, I can't have A, B, and C, and I can only have this small handful of food that's on my diet plan. that nobody wants to live like that for the rest of their life. And so what you really, really need to think about is like, what's the lifestyle that you want? What's going to create some balance for you? And then you want to focus on integrating things in. So when I'm working with my clients, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to come into your house and tell you you need to get rid of all the things in your refrigerator and your pantry. It's not going to work like that. I'm going to meet you where you're at. And then I'm going to teach you how to bring things in that are good, that make you feel good, and bring some balance in. Just by doing that, by integrating in, you naturally start to crowd out the things that aren't serving your health. And so now your focus isn't on what you can't have, and the focus is on what you can bring in. But the foundation of your health, there's four pieces of your health that you should always think about the foundation, because you can build the walls without a strong foundation. But if you work on building that strong foundation first, then anything can last. And the foundation of that is like, what does your diet look like? Like the nutrition piece of that, what's that? The second piece is, what is your water? Like, how much water are you getting? And then the third piece is your exercise. And then the fourth piece is your sleep. Those are like the four foundational pieces to build a strong foundation. And then anything from there is just building the walls onto that. But you never put a ceiling on it, because that's not what wellness is. Wellness is this pendulum that swings, and you have to figure out how to swing with that pendulum, because your life is going to change. You're going to have kids. You're probably going to be in a relationship. You're going to be traveling, and then your kids get older, and you're going to have events, and your body's going to change. Like every decade, your body's going to change, and you have to be able to swing with that pendulum with your health. That's what wellness is.
I love that. And she gave me a lot of information right there. Like I had to pinpoint one thing that she said, and it's kind of off subject, but it's on subject too, because she said sleep. A lot of people don't really get as much sleep, especially as they get older, because even I fell victim to it. I was in that mindset of, nah, if you want to get rich or if you want to be successful, you sacrifice sleep. Like what happens is that you put yourself in a position for your mind to not operate at its peak conditions. 1, 2, you put yourself in a position for your body to start failing, because sleep is a necessary commodity for our body to have. So if we over here not utilizing it effectively, then we're going to be putting ourselves in a place to where our body just going to shut down. We're going to wonder why we're tired. We're going to wonder why we're sick, and so on and so forth. Even the great Kobe Bryant, like he was one of those people that was the same. When he got to his older age and later stage, he said that one thing that he wished he would have took more appreciation over was sleep. Like he was always working, always putting in effort, always that, but your body heals in sleep. Your body recovers in sleep. Your body pretty much resets in sleep so that you can operate to your fullest potential. Like for bodybuilding, I definitely tell people that you need to get 8 hours of sleep so that your muscles can fully condition itself back to its peak form, so that when you're going hard, the thing about bodybuilding is that you're trying to make your body wear out so that the last few reps is at its optimal and you're struggling. But if it's for a weaker weight because of the fact that you didn't get enough sleep, then you're not going to be as effective. So yeah, I love that. And there was so much of the stuff that she said, and that we're going to have to re-listen to that, because that was amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
It was. So let's go ahead and ask you the same question.
Okay, man, she said a lot. I forgot what the question was. No, I was just playing.
I was about to say, like, what was the question now?
What are some things that people can do?
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it. Definitely. So almost the same as her. Literally starting where you are and then build on top of that. Too often when people want to become healthier, they be like, okay, but I know I got to cut this out. I got to do this. I got to do this. Like, no, wherever you are at, that's fine. And just start to add on top of that. Because what happens is, the more positive that you are, the more negative starts to get out of your life. Like you think like, okay, cool. Like, man, like I love these Snicker bars, right? And I'm like, okay. So just start eating more fruit in the morning, for example. Don't wake up eating all them calories like you're trying to be a linebacker or something. You don't need all that. Your calorie intake should literally be based off how active you are in the day. So, okay, cool. So you got the breakfast. All right, cool. So I'm eating a lighter breakfast. Now, when it comes to lunch, I always tell people eat their heaviest meal in the middle of the day. This way is more time for their body to actually digest, right, the food. Because typically, like at night, when people want to start to eat, like 6, 7 o'clock, like when they trying to go to sleep late, like hours later on, like they trying to like rest, but their body is literally digesting. Like we got like the first law of nature is self-preservation. We don't have time for sleep. We need to actually handle these nutrients that we're getting in. And also on top of that, like your sleep, when you or how you feel in the morning is literally a direct reflection on how you've been consuming. So when you say, oh man, I'm waking up, I got 8 hours of sleep, but I don't have any energy. And I always ask people like, how are you consuming? And then they tell me, I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. So you want to import this, keep on importing this, at least 80 to 90% good. And then like the 10 to 20% bad in quotes that people was doing, you still can do that, but then your body gonna start to change. And then change is what we actually push for. So I'm always the biggest fan of telling someone to test something out yourself. Like I can say anything, you can say anything, and she can say anything, but the body will not lie what is actually working. So,
and I love that, man. It's that awareness again, going back to paying attention to what your body is saying. And that's what I also would say that yoga, meditation, things like that should also be incorporated in trying to figure out how you should eat as well, because you take some time out to feel your body all throughout, especially when you're doing things like yoga, you're stretching, you're realizing how your body feels. It's like you have to take the time out to breathe and move and things that majority of America and the majority of a lot of the world don't do. So if you're taking the time out for you to figure out what's affecting your body, how you feel on a daily basis, why you feel that way, what you're intaking, the depression, like a lot of people have been there and have utilized, I forgot what it's called, is it nutritional therapy? They utilized nutritional therapy and they realized that they didn't need therapy. They needed to change the way they eat. So it's like you're really empowering yourself in a way to where you put yourself in a position to, you take control of your mind again. Yeah. So that's why I say, how do food affect your mind? Like, what are you doing to intake into your body to make you feel the way you feel? Because every single action that you do has its consequence. And if everything is working for you, nothing can work against you, literally. And honestly, most of the time, especially in America, food is working against us big time, big time, big time. So we're going to go on a quick commercial break and we're going to be right back. Right. See you soon. So what is the You Are Super Podcast? Well, the You Are Super Podcast is a podcast that is about the eyes, the me's. What can I do? How can I take personal responsibility over my life so that I can make it the best that I can? See, we're not talking about what they did to you, what the government did to you. I don't want you to feel as if your life is dependent on the actions of others. See, I bring on 3 guests each episode based off of the topic that I have in mind. And I am very meticulous about who I bring on. I make sure that their energy is not boastful, that they are here to try to give information. And it's not about them, it's about who they can affect. Whatever the topic is, we gather together so that we can make sure that our words is impactful and effective to move people towards a new dimension, a new way of life, a new power. We want you to see the greatness within yourself. So the only way that we can do that is if you give us the opportunity by joining us for our podcast every other week. You Are Supa. See, Supa stands for Success Ultimate Power is Alive. I have a company called Supainnerprize, the personal development company. We teach people how to identify themselves with success. We want to teach you that success lives within you. That is not something that you just do, but it's who you are. So that everything that you take on, everything that you try to go forth, you have the ability to operate in the identity that is of success. And that's what we're doing here. We are giving you the ingredients for you to understand how to bring out the success that lives within you. So, hope to see you soon. And you are Supa! I am too. I am too. I am too. I am. Okay, we're back. Yeah, we are back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't judge me. Anyways. Okay, so back to nutrition and how it affects the brain. Let's go ahead and go into the details of how nutrition affects your brain. Linz, can you tell me how does nutrition affect your brain?
Nutrition is everything when it comes to your brain. Now, there's like downstream things as well, and I'll get into that. But when you think about food for your brain, you want to think about non-inflammatory foods. And that's not processed food. That's not highly processed foods. That's not food at the drive-through. Those are not going to be your brain foods. But our brain is 60% fat. And so you want to think about, okay, what are healthy fats that you can fuel your brain with? So when you're thinking of feeding your body foods for your brain, you want to think about superfoods and healthy fats, non-inflammatory foods. But the thing too is like we have to remember is like what's inflammatory for me may not be inflammatory for you. So again, we go back to the bio-individual part of that. The second piece of it is our gut. Our gut is our second brain. It's directly connected to our brain. And in our gut is where like 95% of our serotonin is. It's where our dopamine is. And so when we think about our brain, we also need to be thinking about our gut health and how well that's taken care of and the microbiome of that. And it's all connected. But if you want to really feel good, like you're going to think about what's feeding my gut well, and then how's that affecting my brain as well.
So when you say processed foods and things, so what do you think would be a good substitute if somebody is conditioned to taking processed foods on a consistent basis?
Well, there's many types of processed foods. Like I don't think we're ever not going to have processed foods because I grew up on a farm and we processed and preserved food. That's different because we canned our own fruits and we canned we can't meat. Like we preserved things like that. So that's considered processed, but it's a lightly processed versus like a highly processed. So if you're thinking about, oh, I have to get rid of all processed foods. No, you don't. You just want to think about what's been like done or created in like highly commercial factories where they're making Kellogg's cereal that has strawberries in it, that they make it taste like it's a real strawberry, but it's all artificially based. That's considered a highly processed food and isn't necessarily going to be something that fuels your brain or your body. So you want to think more of a whole food form when you're thinking about how you want to feed your brain, things in their whole food form.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And speaking of whole food forms, Leo had actually did me a favor. He asked me a few questions about the type of foods that I eat. And me being who I am, I made it so difficult for him.
Oh, man. I don't even know how to put that list together.
Because he asked me, like, what's this food that I eat on a weekly basis? I'm like, I eat whatever's in my refrigerator.
Oh man,
right, so
that's a bad man right there.
He's not planning.
No, not at all.
I'm not I'm actually entering into more of a meal prepper state, but
Nice.
I'm not as amazing as these two yet. Don't judge me. We all are on our own journeys.
Nobody's judging here.
Not at all.
No.
Progress is a process.
Yes, I bet you there's one person listening that's low-key judging me, and I'm looking at you.
You ain't on trial.
Right. Okay. So what do we have here, Leo?
Okay, so since you made it very difficult for me, I was trying to ask you what you was consuming every day. And he was like, yeah, I ate 2 chicken breasts. This is a week. He's like, I ate 3-4 chicken breasts. I ate a taco, a carne asada, and I ate 2 bananas and a watermelon. And I was just like, you're not telling me the exact size or anything. But I went to myfooddata.com. And basically, I just entered in all the information, and then I ended up coming up with like a list of percentages of like the essential like minerals and like vitamins, and also fiber, fats as well that's up in there.
Okay, so I see that you have 12 ounces or 2 chicken breasts, 2 roasted chicken thighs with skin, and 4 cups of red beans and rice. See, I'm never that in detail. Chicken thighs with skin? Like, doesn't all chicken thighs supposed to have skin? But I'm
No.
I made it up. You ain't tell.
There's a lot of collagen and fat in that skin.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, if it's a good chicken, nothing wrong with it.
But you don't know if it's a good chicken all the time.
Yeah.
You buy from a local farm, organic, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest thing, not to cut in on you, but it's like she was just talking about like whole foods more. So typically in people's mind, they want to get like the commercial type of meat.
Right.
And that's usually like the cheapest type of meat.
Guilty.
And a lot of people, it's like, okay, cool, I'm in survival mode. I'm like, damn, you 30, 40 years old. When you gonna start thriving and stop just surviving? So like what she was just saying, like, talk to that local farmer over there.
Well, that's another type of conversation there, because a lot of times we put ourselves in that survival state because we have that mindset.
Yes,
but
sir.
once we start thinking like, yeah, I'm about to thrive, and I start changing my lifestyle around, you'll start making ways for you to create that lifestyle into more of a possibility for you. But that's for another podcast episode.
Yeah, for sure. And so also you'll see anything that's over like 100%, like that's like your recommended daily allowance. Anything below that means that you're having like a deficiency. And since you actually didn't show me exactly what you would get, like what you was getting in, I just
You just guessed.
shot it. Yeah, shot it in the dark.
And I actually, so yeah, this is stuff that I need to be looking at, especially me, because I'm working out on a consistent basis and I have a goal of becoming a man with the body of a god.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You gotta feed it like a god.
Exactly. And I definitely understand that my weakest point within my fitness lifestyle is nutrition. I'm not bad with my nutrition. I've eliminated things that I realized that isn't good for me, but I still haven't perfected it, and I'm still not fully understanding of it. So that's why I brought 2 amazing people here to make me become more smarter, so that next time I go eat, I can slap my hand.
No, you good. You good. And since you like working out, you've been like brought up like a great point. So anybody that works out, they need more nutrients than the average person. And if you look on there, when it, like the sodium intake, it's almost like at I think it's at 25. Is it 2,500 milligrams on the first sheet?
You tell me.
I mean,
I'm not 100% understanding of everything I'm saying.
no, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, you're right. So if you look on there, we'll say sodium.
Sodium to 129%.
Okay. All right, then go down to potassium.
Potassium 40%.
Okay. So the more sodium that you have in your diet, the more potassium that's depleted from your system. And since you work out, you actually need more potassium than anything else. But like 95% of the population not getting enough potassium in anyway. But you will notice like the more attentional that you become, like, okay, cool, I'm making sure I'm about to get 4,500 like micrograms of this in.
So what is some foods with potassium?
Oh, for sure. Well, I usually get in trouble on Facebook for mentioning this. Bananas is not a good source. Vitamin C is actually higher than the potassium that's in the banana. But I would go with like an avocado. Avocado usually have 2 or 3 times the amount of potassium. Leafy greens is good as well. Beans. And the great thing about nature, though, is not just giving you one nutrient. You're getting a family host of nutrients.
So you mean that this banana's good for you?
Oh yeah, of course the bananas is good, but I just had to bring that to the forefront because too often we don't like test traditional wisdom. We just keep running from it, like running with it forever. And like an old cure can be a new poison if it's not tested. So that's something we want to like look into more in office.
I agree with that completely. That's why I like to tell people to we live a lot of us live based off of an old way of thinking that was outdated a long time ago. But because our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, our great-great-great-grandparents did it, our parents lived by it and died by it, so they expect us to live by it and die by it. But you also have to understand that times it's different. We know more. We have more access to research material, and we could figure out if this is actually for what it claim it is. Like, say, for instance, they claim that too much eggs would eventually give you a heart attack, which was kind of debunked recently because they said that, no, it doesn't have as much cholesterol as they thought they did. So the more you research, the more you figure things out. The world is always changing. It's always evolving, especially even food itself is changing. Like watermelon now is not what watermelon was back then. So it's like you always got to figure out what's going on in the now for me to be able to live my lifestyle the best way I possibly can, because if not, then I can be the reason why I contribute to my passing. And one thing I always tell people, I love what I think it's Ed, I forgot his name. He made the book that I just read called The Power of One More. Recommend that book completely.
Yeah.
He says, you said what?
Ed Milet.
Oh, Ed Milet. Okay. Yep. Have you read the book?
Not that one, but I listened to his show, and he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things that he say that I love completely because it really hit home is like, imagine your daughter getting older, and now she has to walk down the aisle without her dad because you didn't take care of yourself. Yep. Now she has to stranger her arm because you didn't do the necessary steps for you to get in that gym, for you to eat the things properly, for you to live your life right, for you to get things together, because of your actions determine what your daughter don't have in that moment that's supposed to be precious. And I have a daughter, and I 100% want to see her walk down the aisle and look at the guy in the eye and say, if you hurt my daughter, I'll kill you. But that's a whole different other story. So I think that it's very important for us to be able to take care of ourselves. And literally, I had this thought the other day where I said, like, people are dying, like people that is very, very precious to us that we want to see us have success. We want them to see us be great. If we wait too long not doing what we know we're supposed to do, they're going to be gone. And when you reach a success, or if you reach a success, depending if you take the action necessary, they're not going to be there to be proud of you, to smile and say, yeah, I raised him. Oh yeah, he went through that. Like, I have a list of people that I want to see me be success or have success, and also take care of them after my success because they took care of me. And it breaks my heart that some of the people that is gone, I will never be able to have the opportunity for. So now I got to utilize their life for my purpose. Now, depending on what I do with my life will give their life more meaning. Because I met them, I'm going to make sure that their meaning to me will cause me to soar. But if you really want them to see you be great, you have to do the necessary things to get your mind right. And the things that get your mind right lies also, which is often neglected, nutrition.
Absolutely. And I think that one of the things that came to mind when you were talking just now is like not taking care of you. If you have kids and you're not taking care of your health, you're also not taking care of your kids' health. So if we really want to go deep there, that's in some way, shape, or form, that's child neglect.
Mm-hmm. I love that 100%. I am very, 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 very strong on showing my kids how I work out. I want them to work out with me. You can see a lot of videos on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and they're either doing meditation, they're doing yoga, they're doing push-ups with me sometimes, because I want them to know that this is a part of life. If I want you to live as long as possible, I want you to outlive me. If I'm not giving you the proper tools and I'm just looking at you and saying, well, yeah, you can go ahead and eat that piece of chocolate over and over and over and over, and then you see them gain symptoms within the body that cause them to be sick, and you're not doing anything about it except for taking them to the doctor, then are you really doing your parental duties to the fullest capability? I know that we're all not knowledgeable in nutrition, but when you see certain things and you're not doing it, that you know that you can push them towards the next level, then you become the reason to their demise. And I know that as a parent, as a great parent, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. But as a great parent or somebody that strives to be a great parent, I want to make sure I'm doing everything I possibly can. And I also agree. I know that some people would be like, oh, no, some things they need to find out by themselves. And I completely agree with that. But also, there's things that we have to do and show the example for. Like, sometimes you don't even have to teach them. If they see you do the things that you're supposed to do, then they will take that and run with it and build a life that is going to be based off of, I see my dad do this, or I see my mom do this, I'm going to do it as well.
Yep.
Sure.
So, yeah, I love that completely.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head. Children do exactly what they see, not what they told. Too often growing up, like, why you not doing what I told you to do? I'm like, you doing the complete opposite of this. Like, so my son, like, he love garbanzo beans and drink coconut water. The average, like, grown person, like, bro, it tastes like spoiled milk. Like, how is that even possible? Like, he down in that thing. I was like, because I gave him to him at a very young age. So it's like, if you start to put them into them young, as they get old, they're going to appreciate it. Not just from a knowledge standpoint, but the quality of life that they give. And it goes back into the sister's point. The mental health becomes way better once, like, your nutritional health is right. It's connected in life. That's why I'm real big with holistic, like, literally everything is connected, just like a puzzle. Like, you miss one piece of the puzzle, you never can complete it, but it's just one picture though.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly why I wanted to talk about nutrition, because when I was first thinking about it, I was thinking about doing this a little bit later on versus right now, because it's more what You Are Supa podcast is mainly trying to figure out how to navigate life and learn how to operate in success as your identity. And I realized that a big part of your identity is what you eat. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to monitor what goes into your body. You cannot be the best you if you're over here eating burgers from McDonald's every single day. You've seen the result of someone eating burgers from McDonald's every single day from that one show that came on back in the early 2000s. He died. He went on, he did a little thing for 30 days. He ate McDonald's for every single day for 30 days. He was so committed. I admire his commitment, because after a while, after I'm sick and stuff, I'm cutting it out. But because of it, he died. He showed you what happens when you are eating processed food, fast food on a consistent basis that you know you're not supposed to eat. I'm not saying you don't have to eat it. We all said that already. You can eat it here and there, but when you're taking it in on a consistent basis, then you become your own worst enemy. Yeah. So it's like if you're trying to battle everything in the world, but you're not realizing that the biggest enemy that you have is the one that you are in the mirror.
Well, and we live in such a digital world where convenience is everything. And so we believe the lie. I don't, but many people believe the lie that eating healthier and planning to eat healthier has to be difficult. And really it doesn't. I see this over and over. It's like, oh, I'm busy. I don't have time to think about what healthy food I'm going to be eating. I said, listen, here's the thing. We make a decision, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, every single day, what we're going to be putting into our body. You get to make a choice every single day. Do I choose the things that are going to fuel and nourish and heal my body? Or do I grab the croissant and butter for breakfast and I just stick with that? You still made a decision that you're going to have that. You're just not consciously thinking about it. It's because it's a habit. So you've built this habit of like, hey, I just don't even think about it. But you are thinking about it. You're just not putting structure and discipline and effort behind what it should look like. And then when you first start that journey of, hey, I want to feel better, I want to heal my body, and I want to have more energy and be supa, then it's kind of like getting into a brand new car and you've never driven this car before. And you're like, I got to figure out how to drive this thing. So you have to think about every step you're taking.
I love that.
And so when you do that, but eventually you're going to get in that car and just automatically you're going to know what to do.
Yep.
Based on habits.
Yep. 100%. I love that completely. I forgot what I was about to say. It was something on my mind. Can you say like the last two sentences you said? Or the last two things you was talking about?
When you start your health journey, And it's kind of like getting into a car that you've never driven before. Maybe you don't even have your driver's license yet. And you have to think about every single step that you're taking.
Yep. And I agree with that completely. I love the quote that, it's going to be a metaphor, so bear with me, but I love the quote that goes, I fear not the man that practice one punch, but the man that practice I feel not the man that practiced 1,000 punches, but I fear the man that practiced one punch 1,000 times, said by Bruce Lee. Like whenever you're taking on a new discipline, it's not about what you can do really quick, because pretty much what happens that one punch 1,000 times, once you throw it, eventually it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to be mindful of it. It's just you've done it so many times that you'll subconsciously know what you have to do. That's what happens when you build a habit. So what happens is that we build habits of laziness. We choose not to do the things that we don't want to do, and we think that's natural, but it's not. We built the habit of not doing it, so now you have to build a habit of doing it. So once you start eating healthy, of course it's going to be hard the first time. You don't know what you're doing. You got to learn how to pivot your foot, turn your body. You got to learn that the punch is not going to be with your arm, but it's more with your body. So now you have to restructure your mind on how to punch, and so on and so forth. Same thing with eating. If you're trying to be a great fighter, it's the same thing with trying to be a great eater, a healthy eater. If you want to take it, blah, 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 blah. If you want to take the action necessary for you to put yourself in a position for you to be able to win in eating healthy, you have to just do it on a consistent basis, till you realize, like, dang, the cookies don't even taste good anymore. Like when I think about some things that I used to eat on a consistent basis, it's like, ugh.
and your body almost starts like rejecting it.
Exactly.
Because like once you start like cleaning eating, or whatever the term is now, and you're giving your body the things that makes it feel good. When you bring in the cookie, you're gonna be like, oh, there's consequences, because your body's like, this doesn't feel good. Now, I'm not saying like don't ever have the cookie. Trust me, I like a cookie every now and then.
I like peanut butter cookies sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
But you have to understand that you may not feel the best, and you get to make a decision. You get to make a choice. Do I want to have the cookie and pleasure my taste buds and have fun with this, or do I want to skip the cookie because I want to feel amazing when I wake up tomorrow morning?
Yeah, for sure.
You about to say something?
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
I was about to tag team with what she said, because literally when I was, like I said, I haven't been working out as much in the past since January till May, because I was trying to gain weight. And literally I had like a little box of cookies. It was a big box of Reese's gigantic cookies. I put it in the microwave. It got soft. I ate it, and I thought I was going to eat the whole thing. After half a cookie, I was like, oh my gosh, that's too much sugar. I put it to the side and I was like, yeah, I'm good on that. So it's like, yeah, your body starts changing the way it look at things. And also I think that once it recognizes things isn't good for it, like once you, like say for instance, somebody that smokes cigarettes, they will tell you that cigarettes smell good. They love the smell and everything. They start smoking for like 2 months. They go back to it. They say it smell like death, because you realize, your body realized like, yeah, this isn't good for you. This isn't a chemical that's going to be beneficial to me. So it's like you condition your body to like things. You condition your body not to like things as well.
Yeah,
what was you about to say?
Yeah, for sure. We get conditioned with anything that or we get addicted to anything that causes us pleasure. So it can be food, it can be who you're dating, it can be what you're watching, it can be anything. And then you're going to find yourself in a place like, I know this isn't right for me. I know it ain't right. Like every time I do it, I'm eating, like I go to sleep. Like we used to, it's crazy. Like I used to live in Indiana by Chicago. So what used to happen is we used to go over here, get these Italian beefs, dip well. They used to put cheese on it, like everything on there, like the fries, put mild sauce on there, etc.
I can confirm that I was in Chicago for 5 years, and those were so delicious back then.
Yes, sir. And listen, it's 4 people in the car. It might be 5 people. Everybody going to sleep besides the driver, and the driver want to go to sleep, and he looking around like, man, that sleep look good. He's sleeping. I'm like, bro, that's death. And they call it the itis. And then when you look up the definition of itis, it's literally like inflammatory. So all them people, oh man, he inflamed, she inflamed, but man, this show was good. And then you'll notice whenever you get off of it and then you try to return, it's like, no, that's not it. And I tell people again, like convenience is dangerous. It's highly
I love that. I love it. I love it. And you know what you got to do? Repeat it.
Yes, sir. I forgot. No, no, convenience is dangerous, right? But it doesn't seem like it. Like literally, I seen somebody like get some Uber Eats and they took it in the gas station. I was just going to the gas station at the time, and he literally took that food. He's like, man, I just got this from Walmart. I'm about to sell it for double. But the person that lived right here, he not about to go to Walmart. That's down the street. And I'm like, oh, it's the same thing when it comes to nutrition. It's way easier to get it quick, fast, in a hurry. But what actually happens is that quick pleasure ended up going to lead to a quick death. And that may seem, or not even death, it might just lead to like a condition, a illness, disorder, or, you know.
And when it comes to health, like we mentioned earlier, like we live in such a fast-paced digital.
Hold on. Okay.
We live in such a fast-paced digital world. And one of the things that we have to remember is we cannot Amazon Prime or microwave our body and our health. Mm-hmm. It takes time. But I work with so many clients that people get really, really impatient. But you have to remember that you didn't get where you're at in a matter of weeks or a few months or even a few years. This might have been going on for 5, 10, or 20 years, yet you're coming in to get help and you want this like quick result that's, just shows up at your door without putting in the long-term work.
Yep.
And it just doesn't work that way.
Exactly. It's like
a paycheck.
You said what?
Oh, no, pardon me. I was just saying like a paycheck. You literally have to put the work in first. Then you get the paycheck. People come in there like, hey, where the paycheck at? Like, you ain't putting no work in or anything. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the same thing with fitness as well. Like, people think that, oh, yeah, I've been working out for 2 weeks. Why am I not built like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Arnold Schwarzenegger spent like 7 years to get that body. Of course, he did it with other substances as well that, depending on if you are into that or not. So, yeah, like his body, that's one thing too. And that's about social media. That goes into how people eat as well. They kind of starve their body sometimes trying to reach the ideal body that you see on social media. And you have to understand that a lot of these bodies on social media that's like built like Greek gods and Egyptian gods and African gods, steroids. Like a lot of people take steroids on social media. So you have to be mindful of not trying to get inside the trap of thinking that your body isn't amazing. How it is. Like I always tell everybody, like the way your body is right now, you're beautiful. You're dope. You're handsome. You're amazing. The goal is to make yourself more amazing and also to put yourself in a position to where you are able to live a lot longer due to the fitness that you're doing. My goal is different from other people's goals in fitness. My goal is to try to become a individual that people can look at and say, wow, he doing all that. I can at least do something. Like I want to inspire the world and have my actions be able to be a pillar of love to help people say, I want to do something as well. Because just like with our kids, people as well, your friends, your families, everything is affected based off of the actions that you take. If you're around 5 people that work out, you're going to want to work out. Yeah. If you're around 5 people that's eating McDonald's, you're going to ask, can I get a burger? So depending on who you put yourself around also determines like how your eating habits is as well, your nutritional stuff is. If you're around people that is always telling you, no, it's fine, you good, you ain't got to worry about it, you'll always go to them when you're feeling weak and they'll make you feel good about messing up. You got to put yourself around people that be like, yeah, I can understand that you messed up, but you really got to get back on it because like this is serious. This is your life. Like this isn't something that we play around with. We're not saying this just because I want to be seen taking a photo shoot with broccoli in my face. Right. Like we're trying to eat proper so that we can live better. And it's not just longer, it's literally a better quality of life, more energy, more things you can do. The goals that you say that you're reaching, you have more energy to reach them. Like a lot of people that I talk to be telling me, oh, I don't have the energy. I don't have enough time. I don't have like you would if you start placing things properly. If you started eating better, you have more energy. If you started handling your business more, you'll have more time, honestly. If you started to start eliminating some distractions, you'll realize that a lot of that time that you're spending is not really time that you're spending at all. it's really time that you're wasting. So you really have to ask yourself, like, is the excuses that we're making, I'm saying we're, because it's not just you all, it's us too. We all have our issues. We all have our faults. Even though we are knowledgeable of these things, we mess up 100%. You're going to mess up as well. But what are we doing in order for us to make sure that this isn't just a diet, this is a lifestyle? A diet sucks. A lifestyle is beautiful. Like, it doesn't take a lot for you to have the lifestyle. It's just take little changes day by day. Do research on how you can change something. Like, I eat chocolate. What can I do that tastes like chocolate that could have a better effect? Or what can I do that's a snack like chocolate that I could be eating instead of that during my downtime? And then next thing you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, you'll have a reconditioned diet that will put you in a whole different place. And you realize, like, dang, all it took was one basic action day by day by day until I created this lifestyle that I have.
Yeah, for sure. That's, I mean, pardon me, you was about to say something? But yeah, if you really like look at conditions, diseases, disorders, and illnesses, they are all built over time. People just don't wake up tomorrow with a heart attack.
100%.
Or like with cancer or diabetes, etc. It's like, but if you're not looking at it, because the average person is not willing to go into like the healthcare system and actually get themselves checked out. So, oh yeah, I'm just living my life. And things happen to us when they are priority to us. So becoming better when it comes to our nutritional health, it literally has to become a priority. And then when you start feeling the quality and then also too the quantity of things that you can do more, it's like, why would you want to go the other direction?
See, and that's 100% true. That what he said kind of reminds me of a doctor that everybody, well, almost everybody know of, and they know the situations that came about with the information that he knew, Dr. Sebi. He did a lot of practice with certain things, and it healed a lot of people based off of how they ate. Literally, a whole bunch of people came to court when he was trying to argue his point, and they told him how the diseases, the sicknesses, everything that they had going wrong with them was completely done based off of the diet that he had them on. So just like it takes time for you to build up your sickness, you could spend that same time getting yourself back together. You are not in your final stage. You are not done. You are not at your end point. Just because you're going through, just because you're sick, just because you're feeling depressed, just because you feel as if you don't have no energy, doesn't mean that's who you are. And once you let go of that identity and start owning the identity of success and that I can become the individual that I want to become, you can start pushing yourself towards the person that you are meant to be. But it all starts with how you view yourself, how you look at yourself, how you see yourself. And that's why this podcast exists. Supa is here to show you how to identify yourself with success. Supa stands for Success Ultimate Power is alive, inner, inside. Prize is inside me. I have the prize inside me. And as long as I learn how to bring it out with knowledge, with information, with action, then I could take what's inside me and make it into a beautiful life. If you want to be a millionaire, you can. If you want to be healthy, you can. If you want to be a beautiful family person, you can. If you want to be in the streets doing your street stuff, you can. Whatever you want to do. But it all starts with you. And that's why I'm so happy that I brought these two here. They was able to give y'all information on how to handle your nutrition properly. So I wanted to go ahead and take a little bit more time out for them. I want y'all to tell us what you do, what's your background, and how they can find you on social media. Starting with you, Liz.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me on social media, my Instagram handle. That's where my main hub is and where I hang out the most. Linzie Ens. So LIZZIEENS_wellness. That's my handle. And you'll be able to find me there and find all kinds of fun health things on there and maybe some other, interesting things.
Oh, some other fun stuff. One thing I can say about her social media is that the branding is beautiful. And I'm not just saying from a business prospect, I'm saying the culture of her page is dope. Everything that you see is informal and help you. And it's not just boring. I mean, not just boring, but it's fun. It is 100% fun information that she presents to you in a way to where you can find out more things about yourself and how to handle your nutrition just by going on Instagram and following. So if you haven't done it yet, you better well just go ahead and pick your phone up right now and add her on Instagram, please. Okay.
I'm following it right after this.
Right. All right, Leo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Definitely. Well, you can find me on Facebook, Leo Victory II, and then on Instagram and also TikTok, LTG219. That stands for Leading to Greatness. Also, to the last words, just focus on becoming the best version of yourself on a daily. Even if you're improving by 1%, if you just improve by 1% daily for a whole year, 365% better. Even if it's just 1% a week, 52% better.
I love that because I tell people, like, if you make sure that you don't go to sleep until you're one step closer, just one step closer to each of your dreams, 365 days from now, you'll be 365 steps closer to your goals than you was at the beginning of the year. All it takes is one step on a daily basis for you to conquer it all. That's why I really love this guy. Like, I am 100% keen on men telling men and men telling women they love you, because you never know when you could die. You never know when you can perish, and you never know when you will not have the ability to give people flowers. So both of y'all, I love y'all. Y'all so dope for what y'all do.
Thank you.
He has a strong passion for nutrition, and every time when I see him on Facebook, he is really trying to push the agenda of trying to eat healthy. And you need to go ahead. Well, did you say your Instagram already?
Yes, sir. It's LTG219.
You heard that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow her. So
yeah, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them.
Oh,
yeah, follow him. Follow both of them. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna make a video and post it on Facebook. Like a thug though. Yeah. Okay, so that being said, King's Mode. Hey, you are Supa, and I am too.